Brandon Smith here with Ghouls, Guts, and Gore, wanting to tell you about where I was a week ago, which was actually Salem, Massachusetts. Now, I'm from Chicago, so me and Courtney went on a Halloween vacation of sorts to Salem, where they throw a month-long celebration called Haunted Happenings. If you're looking for maybe a Halloween-type vacation to go next year, Salem is a great choice, and we wanted to show you a couple of the things we did out there. Now, if you're flying into Massachusetts from another state like us, you actually can't fly directly into Salem, so we found the best way was to leave from Long Wharf in Boston by ferry, which took us directly into Salem. When our ferry arrived, we found the downtown streets of Salem already full of Halloween tourism. Then things got weird. Which is how we like it. We spent that first day mainly visiting the unique shops all over downtown Salem. Our favorite was a shop called Hex right off Essex Street. Now, what's the point of going to the witch capital of the world if you're not going to dabble in a little bit of witchcraft? From Hex, we picked up some Titubas sage smudge stick. This is desert sage that we're supposed to burn to eliminate negativity in the room. And we picked up some spell candles. There are a lot of candles at that store that you're supposed to incant a spell with, and they have a particular effect. So we've got our dark evil one here, our necromancy candle. We've got a couple lucky ones, Job Mojo and Lady Luck. And then don't mess with us or try and curse us, because we've got a curse reverse candle. After spending that first day trying to explore all the shops of downtown Salem and the marketplace for haunted happenings, at night we headed over to Count Orlok's Nightmare Gallery. Now, by day this is actually a dedicated monster museum, but at night they do try and turn it into a little bit of a haunt. We weren't big fans of it. We did buy a combo pass called the Double Dare Pass, where we got to do both. The haunt was really short, only had a couple actors, but the facility itself was really cool and full of great figures that we got to see in the museum portion on day 3. Across the street from Count Orlok's was a small alley offering tickets to 4 more attractions for $20 called the Wicked Special. These 4 included a candlelight walking tour where we went for 45 minutes around Salem, got to see some of the more historical areas, hear some cool stories, and take a look at the second oldest cemetery in the country, one of my favorite parts of that town. There was also a spellcasting session with a real witch where you got to place a wish while she casts her spell, as well as 2 other attractions. There was Haunted Witch Village, a very small, fun at times haunt, and then there was the Salem Wax Museum, which was full of some more historical facts of the area. For dinner, we ate at a place called Scratch Kitchen. We had some wings there, and Courtney, who loves hot sauce and can take pretty much any hot sauce, met her match there. They have a hot sauce called Devil Sauce, and we took some home. This stuff is pretty hot.
No. What the f is wrong with you?
What? I can't believe it's this delayed. A minute later. My lips are on fire. Tongue on fire. Wait, you need to try this.
On day 2, we visited the Salem Witch Museum, learning the full details of what actually happened during the witch trials of 1692. And we actually learned that in the United States, we never burned witches. We only hung them and pressed one to death. In Europe is where all the witch burnings were, so USA never burned witches. After the museum, we actually caught a movie at the downtown local theater. It's called Cinema Salem. It's this small theater, but it's kind of cool in its own little way. We caught a short movie there that was produced by Cinema Salem called The History of Halloween. For as cheesy as it was kind of fun, and got to hear, kind of the pagan history beginnings of Halloween. At this time of year, Salem's just bursting with Halloween-related things and attractions. We stopped for some local beer called Witch City Red at the Beer Works. We stopped at the very well-known Witch House in downtown Salem, a very old, beautiful house in the area. We even found our second favorite store and bought something that we just couldn't leave Salem without. We've got a Salem broom from the Broom Closet. Halloweentown wouldn't be complete without leaves changing colors, and of course, being in Salem in October is a perfect time to be in New England. For dinner, we ate at the Lobster Shanty. All the seafood we had on our trip, which is pretty much all we ate, was amazing. Get seafood when you're in New England. We had a lobster roll, Connecticut style, which pretty much means it's soaked in butter. We had lobster risotto, our 4th bowl of clam chowder, as well as more beer. Courtney had a Harpoon IPA. I had Shipyard Pumpkinhead. The Halloween theme in Salem even extends to the ice cream places. There's a place called Salem Screamery with some great flavors. We had coffee Oreo and salted caramel pretzel. To wrap up our last night in Salem, we went to a local stage theater called Gallows Hill. There they have a production that kind of tells some stories about the early monsters that the settlers in Salem would have been afraid of, and a little bit more of the witch history and what drove so much fear in Salem along the time of the witch trials. In the center of that theater, we sat at a place called the Scare Plank, right in the center of the theater. The lights are all the way dark at times and the actors come right up to the edge, which led to some better jump moments than the haunts we went through earlier. When we came to our last morning in Salem, Massachusetts, we didn't want to leave, and we did a little bit more that day. We got to go through the museum portion of Count Orlok's Nightmare Gallery, seeing some amazing full life-sized movie replicas of Freddy, Jason, The Exorcist, Alien, so many classic monsters. The museum portion of Count Orlok's is worth the price of admission. Do that, maybe skip the haunt, but the museum rocks. We got our favorite lobster roll of the entire trip at Witch's Brew Cafe, and unfortunately had to catch our ferry back to Boston. Salem is an amazing place to go to in October. The festival that they throw, the attractions they have, the history that's in that area is worth the trip alone. If you're looking for an October, a Halloween, a horror-themed vacation, you really can't beat Salem, and we had a great time there. We're gonna keep the content coming, so follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and subscribe to our horribly entertaining YouTube channel.